studying in US. Parth is there. Google Hangout didn't show properly, but anyways, and he's
Yeah,
studying
hi
in
everyone.
US now, and he's also having his own YouTube channel, and he's also a famous Instagrammer now. He has over 10,000 followers on Instagram, and we will
I,
just see and discuss with him how it is to like study in US and stuff, how his experience has been. So Parth, come on, introduce yourself to the audience, and let's start with it.
Hi everyone. I'm sorry if I look a little sleepy. I was working until late, and I'm Parth Vijayvergiya. I'm studying at Purdue University, which is in the US and which is at Midwest. I made a couple of videos with Bharat before as well, but I think that was last year's, and we last year we should do one more collab because I need more subscribers to hit 50,000. But anyway, I'm a master's student at Purdue University, and I'm gonna finish my master's in one more semester. I'm currently working at a company in Providence, a company which Bharat knows, which I know, which I've been working for a long time. But I'll talk a little while later in this conversation about it. So
Mhm.
yeah,
So
welcome. Throw in all the US questions you have.
yeah,
I'll
yeah. I
be
mean, definitely.
I'll be very happy to take it.
Parth has also been answering a lot of his a lot of questions regarding education and stuff on his channel. So once the live stream is over, definitely feel free to go check his content out. There are like
For
some
sure, yeah.
really nice quality videos, and you'll definitely love it. So for now, we can start with any kind of questions that you might have regarding studying in US, because I remember very clearly that most of you feel like that because you are coming to Germany or something, you might be doing a trade-off or of some kind. So maybe we can just start. Part you can tell me how the class structure looks like how do you study, how the exams are and stuff like that.
So, if you have studied in India, you might realize that there's a fixed pattern of exams and everything. Whereas and it's for all of the classes, right? Like it'll be fixed pattern, as in there'll be midterms and there will be final terms. For the last year, which I've attended at Purdue University, I've realized that there's no fixed pattern in terms of every subject. So for every subject, it will vary according to the professor. For example, a professor of ours didn't even have any exam. He gave us straight A's just because we were more attentive and we were more like we were interactive in the course itself. We attended all the classes, we gave better ideas, and the course couldn't have an exam. So in some ways, the difference comes here where you have so many courses. For some of them, you don't even have exams just because the professor doesn't think that a master's student is someone who needs exam to test their capabilities, right? It's all about, first of all, it's all about skills, second about knowledge, and third about how you can apply that knowledge. So it really differs, at least from undergrad to masters, and then you're coming to masters in the US, that how you're learning those skills and how you're applying it in real time. That's what is the difference,
Okay.
which it is going to make.
Okay. And you just told me that you are not even writing any master thesis, man. Like I cannot understand this. Tell me.
Yeah, so this is happening, I think, all across US. That a lot of master's programs are becoming fast track programs, which means either you'll be done in 1 year or you'll be done in 1.5 year max. There are some courses which are actually just 1 year. You don't have to write thesis. All you have to do is like take what six or five courses every semester, and then you will be done. So if you have that kind of thesis, if you have that kind of coursework, or if you have that kind of course, you can finish in 1.5 years. Again, there is a drawback if you're not doing thesis, that uh, you'll have to drop your idea for a PhD. If you don't do a thesis, then obviously in the case of mass, in your in the case of PhD, you don't have anything to show, right? So you're leaving that thing on the table and just going on.
Okay, okay, okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you talk about Germany, Germany is really, really traditional in that way that there is not going to be any kind of um, Abweichung, I don't know, deviation. I'm
Mhm.
really like forgetting English words now these days. But
Because
again,
you
yeah,
because
That's the thing of
you're
studying
becoming
in
a German.
Germany, and the master thesis in general, like it is a very important thing of your complete
Mm-hmm.
master's course, and there is actually no way you can skip that or like find a way around it. And
Mm-hmm.
because like again in Germany we have a different structure, that okay, you have your Fachhochschule, so like it's University of Applied Sciences, and normal
Mm-hmm.
universities. So with University of Applied Sciences you cannot do a PhD afterwards most of the times,
Mm-hmm.
and with
Mm-hmm.
normal universities and with technical universities you can do a PhD. And like in general, like in both of the cases you have to do your master thesis, like there's
Mm-hmm.
no way around it. So
Mm-hmm. Makes
Germany is
sense.
pretty rigid in that sense.
Yeah, it's not about just rigidity, right? Like I think US is a much more capitalized market, I'd say. They create what the students want or what the students need. They saw the pattern that hey, these students are coming in from they're just international students. All they want is like if I'm investing 25, 30, 40 lakhs, which is not happening in Germany, I want to get a job eventually. And the universities know that. And if they can modify their course according to that, and if the companies are okay with it, why not just capitalize on it? And like there are some courses or there are some universities which charge, um, I'm guessing like up of 50 lakhs per year just for a
Wow.
course.
Okay.
50 lakh rupees. That's like what? I think almost 80,000 US dollars. So isn't that insane? Like just for fees, you have to pay 80, and then you'll have to pay multiple like living costs and all of that adds up a lot.
Mm.
So it's just optimizing, and US is one of the biggest market in this way that they don't care. Some of them don't even care about studies that much. They just want to get the money. Like
Mm.
university market is a lot crooked than we think.
Yeah, I can believe that. Like Americans
Yeah.
always think they're the smartest people on the planet, and
I don't doubt that. First of all, I don't doubt that.
Mhm.
Um, they are very hardworking. They are in some ways very smart, like in that way that they are thinking ahead of time, and that is why what we are talking on right now was actually built in the US, right?
Mm.
So I don't doubt that. It's just that they are ahead in time among all the countries.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say, here, US has been flexible since a very long time. Like
Mhm.
it's just how they work. But Germany
Correct.
is like really the opposite side of that. If there's a structure to something, you
Right.
cannot go around it. You have to stay in that
Mhm.
structure, even if it doesn't make any kind of sense at all. And you told me like the tuition fee sometimes can be up to 80,000 euros. And how much would be like your running cost, like monthly costs or something like that?
For us, the monthly cost, for example, right now I'm living in Providence. Providence is a bigger city towards Boston side and stuff. So my room rent is $650, right? Which is one room, which is one small room and a shared kitchen and everything. Whereas when I was living in a smaller town, was a college town, I was still paying like $350 to $400 per month just for my room. So it's like it is expensive. And then it adds up to the fees, and you just turn out to be really sad if you don't get a job here and you can get a return on your money.
Hmm. And
So
how many percentage of people do you think like have to return back or like have trouble finding jobs?
I would say that's very less. At least
Mhm.
I haven't. I have a senior who did that, and I don't want to point him out, and I won't. I don't know the exact number. The problem is that there's multiple students who just go back, and we never get to know about them because nobody's gonna say, "Hey, I'm moving back to India," because the backlash is huge, right? And when you go to India, all your relatives will be like, hey, why did you come back after studying and spending 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs? यहाँ पे क्या पढ़ा है?
हाँ,
Like,
इतना पैसा खर्चा करके.
no, but in their mind, it's like, oh, America is the greatest and we want to visit that. For a person who has lived there for 2, 3 years, he knows the reality of leaving your family, first of all, spending so much for no need when you can actually live a very lavish life for the same amount of money in India. I have like 3, 4 servants. three, four helpers every day, I would say. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not expensive. Like what I'll pay $150, I'll have four servants at my house every day doing some other chores. So do you want that? Do you want this tough life and earn a little more than Indian? It's ultimately a very personal choice, and nobody can like what do you call mass analyze it in
Mm-hmm.
some ways.
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, I've seen. Uh, I had a friend, and like he had to go back to India because it wasn't just being too comfortable. Like US was
Mhm.
being a bit too hard on him, so I decided that okay,
Right.
I will go back. And then as soon as he came back to India, then it was all about, भाई तू इतने पैसे उड़ा के आया वहां पे, तूने भाई अब वहां यहाँ पे
Exactly.
वापस आके कर क्या रहा है, क्या फायदा, सोच लेता पहले. So yeah, I
And
can
you
understand.
don't know that the person has probably thought about that
Of
million of
course.
time before actually moving.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean,
And all about this as well कि उसके friends ये बोलेंगे because society pressure is one of the things, right? That's why a lot of people do the things which they are doing
mm.
in some ways. That's why you have to upload after 3 months.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's really sad. But again, there's nothing that you can do about it.
Mm.
For most of the people, until the moment you come here or like you come to US and
Mhm.
you start experiencing everything firsthand, you will
Mhm.
not really understand. Like you cannot put yourself into somebody else's shoes. You can watch my videos, you can watch parts videos, and we can make vlogs and stuff. But again, it would be an entirely different experience once you come here and you start living. And for many
Right,
people, it's like,
right,
all
right,
right, this is nothing for me. I'll just go
right.
back and then I'll do something else there.
Right. And there are a couple of people who are actually just rich. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like, yeah, it's not like that amount of money is too much for them and they cannot earn that back when they go to India. So it's one of those. But I would definitely say like I haven't seen so many smart people um, anywhere where I've gone before in terms of university and stuff. Like all the professors which I learned from or which who were teaching in my undergrad because I didn't do undergrad in India and I did undergrad in Thailand, and all of them were smart and I was super impressed. But the bar has gone like way up when I'm meeting these people here. It's like insanely up. And right now at Brown University, I'm near to the Brown University campus, and it's an Ivy League. So you go to a cafe, like you go to the common halls, right, when for lunch and stuff, and they are talking science while they're eating. And that's when you know that people are actually passionate about these things that they're talking about dark matter and all of that while
Mm-hmm.
eating with
Mm-hmm.
their friends. So yeah, it was amusing at first. Now I'm getting used to it.
Mm-hmm. I can understand. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been the same experience for me too, to be honest. Like,
Hmm.
I did my bachelor's in India, so like again, it was a
Right.
different experience than yours. And there, like, we never used to care about, just like
Mm.
talking about the subjects after the subjects are done or after the classes are done. And here in
Right.
Germany, like, you see these clusters. You see a cluster of students who are always talking about the academic stuff that we have to do this, that assignment, this
Mm.
theory was something like that.
Right.
And then again, like, I think in every single place, in every single university, it's diversified. Some students are like that, some students are like purely talking about academics, but the percentage of people who only talk academics in the universities, I think, are
Hmm.
definitely way higher in Germany
Mm.
and US.
Right.
No?
Uh, right. One thing I would really like to pinpoint here is that I really like that Germany doesn't charge fee. That avoids people who do not want to study. And I really like that if you do not even have a university degree, you can get a decent job, right?
Mm,
You don't need a university degree, and this avoids to like get people enrolled who are not even passionate about the subject. For example, which happens in India. Why do you take CS after your 12th? You don't know anything about computer science. Just because it's in the boom, you're taking the computer science, right?
mm,
And why would you do that when you don't want to do that and you have to invest 4 years in that? So, in some ways, making education free is one of the greatest thing Europe has. That people who really want to study something will be the only one who's be studying there, and
mm.
not just random every third person going to university.
Yeah, that's true, but I also fear that Germany is going to see a oversaturation soon because right now it's still like more like an underdog. And in the last 3 years, part every single year, the number of
Mm-hmm.
students coming to Germany has almost doubled. And I see it from my own university, like in 2016 when students came, it was just like 60 students or something. In 2017, when the batch came, the number of new students who came to TUHH were 123, and this year it's almost even more, it's 150 or something. So
Right.
the
So,
number of students is increasing, and that's why like the universities are also going to put like more strict filters to just see what kind of students are really serious about it, because now Germany has been famous like a country who is not charging any kind of tuition fee. And I'm telling you, like even sometimes students who do not want to study, they do come here just because it's cheap and it's like
right.
2 years of really nice outing for them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, the problem is like, all right, like if they have money, great, you can do that. But then afterwards, you have to go back. If you didn't do anything in your masters, if you didn't gain any experience and stuff, then you just
Right.
have 18 months to find a job, and then afterwards you have to go back. And
Right.
also, like you were talking about the tuition fee free universities. The thing with that is like, once, all right, we have a lot of things which are free here, but as soon as your job starts, then the taxes rise, and the taxes are like pretty high in Germany. They go up to 45%. So like, you have to pay a lot of stuff back, and that's why I think maybe in Germany the salary is a bit lower. If I would have to say, like for a median engineer, they will be earning somewhere around 40,000 euros to like 50,000 euros per year, and that somewhere brings them under like 4,500 euros per month. And after taxes and everything gets cut, they just have around, I think, 3,000, 3,300 or 3,500 something.
And what is like? So, what is the highest paying salary?
Okay, so like the highest paying salaries most of the times for the people who have done MBA, and like they also have B2 proficiency in German, or the people who are lawyers. Now, like in these two cases, it's the highest, and even also for like chemical engineers most of the times, they
And
are
why?
earning like somewhere around, huh?
Why is that thing with the chemical engineering?
Yeah, because Germany is huge on pharmaceutical and like chemical
Ah.
engineers and all that, so that's why they are also paying a lot. One important thing is that, for example, for people who are doing their MBA and afterwards, they get paid somewhere around 5,500 euros per month. So like that's the highest paid salary that I have seen. And also the
Right.
people who have done like management and engineering courses, they also get like good around like 4,800 euros. But for mechanical engineers, for civil engineers are the worst. In Germany, we are we are just getting paid 3,300 euros. It's the worst of all engineering fields.
And that's after tax or before tax?
No, no, that's before tax. After taxes get cut, then
Oh,
you have just like 2,700 something.
that's bad.
Yeah, that's bad. But the thing is, like Germany also has very like low living costs. So, uh, for students, the entire living cost, that means like the rent, the food, the phone contract, the health insurance, everything combined would be just somewhere around 500 to 700 euros max. Like it wouldn't go above that. So in that case, I think like it's still better because the groceries are cheap, the rents are cheap. For most of the cities, I can, if I talk about Munich or like Frankfurt and stuff, then of course the rents are higher there. Um, but in general, I would say, living costs are low. Salary is somewhat lower too. But again, I cannot really compare it unless you tell me about like the US scenario, how the salaries are and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't want to dishearten you or anything, but I'll tell you the reality of what's senior.
Mm,
Okay, civil engineers, architects are paid the lowest. Civil engineers are still in a good position. For example, a friend of mine who's working in New York is getting like 85,000 uh, per year, but he's working in New York. There's a lot of taxes and all of that jazz is happening. So he's getting like 5,500 or 6,000 in hand, which
mm,
is a good salary, right?
mm.
If you're getting that much in hand after taxes, that's what I'm talking. But again, since he's living in New Jersey, so he's paying $1,000 in rent, and then insurance is through the company. But afterwards, that's it. Like he still have $4,000 of his own money. Uh, but if you're doing undergrad, you're not going to earn that much. First of all, second of all, if you're doing masters, yes, it is treated as one of the specialized degrees, so you will be getting paid more. If you're computer science, obviously the salary goes anywhere up to 100,000 to 140, 150. If you're just out, just a fresher, like you just did your bachelor's, came for masters, and then just dropped. And that is why people see it as a viable option in terms of ROI, right? That okay, I'm gonna take $50,000, $60,000 of loan, and I'm gonna pay it back in 2 years, and I'll be done, and then I'll be making the same amount of money. In terms of cost of living, for example, insurance, all the companies who's going to hire you, first of all, they will give you a health insurance. They will also cover your family, so that area is covered until and unless the company is not really good. That's a different scenario. But that, and then if you'll include groceries, and if you're eating out every day, eating in every day, that will not cost you $300 to $400 per month, max to max. I've noticed this as well, that all the meals in the US are cheaper as compared to the Europe in terms of quantity and in terms of prices as well. For example, I'm guessing every meal is like 8 to 10 euros for you guys on an average.
Yeah, yeah, could be like
Like for
10,
example,
12.
what is a falafel wrap cost? I know that you eat that
That's
often.
350.
$3, €3.50.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty similar to not similar, I would say. I'm not sure how much is 3.50 EU to USD. It's 4.2. Okay, that's one thing expensive, I
Okay.
would say. But if you go to a good restaurant as well, right? Like you wouldn't spend more than 20, $25 if you're going two people.
No, actually, that's not true. Like, if you're going two people and if you go to a nice restaurant, I think that's like around 30 euros, at least.
Yeah, so matlab, it varies a lot, right,
Yeah.
according to what is a good restaurant in my mind right now and what is a good restaurant in your mind. But
Mm.
again, yeah, it is not that expensive. But the things which add up is right is the first of all the credit card system here is very toxic. For example, right now I have over 2,800 credit limit. So I have like $2,800 in my pocket, which I don't actually have. It's just that the credit card guys have given me the limit just because of uh, my viable options, right? So because of that, people spend a lot first of all, and then they pay minimum, and then that adds up and adds up, adds up, and then just it pinches a hole in your pocket later on.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
thing is there. Then you'll need a car if you're moving to a big city. That's a big no. So the public transportation system is not as good as Europe in no way. So if we are going anywhere, if you, for example, if I'm living in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Midwest, Chicago, I will need a car. Like if I don't have a car, uh, I'm probably wasting 2 3 hours of commute every day for
Okay.
like a 30 minutes commute. So in those ways, you end up spending a little bit, and then you uh, pay more. But eventually, if you'll even add up all of these things, the salary is a little higher as compared to Germany.
Mm-hmm. And Parth, what is like now? Is it the truth that everybody now who's going to study in US gets like such high salary, or is it again like the people who are smart, who did something in their masters, and
Mhm.
not like everybody?
See, I don't wanna. Most of the people who will get a job um, will have that kind of salary, because if you have survived a US education system, I would put it in that words, then they know that you can do stuff. It's as simple as that. If you can survive that, because the course load, the coursework, it's not that easy as it may seem from outside. Like And one of the reasons why this happens, or why this notion gets created in a student's head, is because all they see, at least in my videos as well, right? Like they probably never have seen me studying. All they see is like 10 minutes of literally a week of me, right? Or if I'm putting two videos, that's 20 minutes of a week on me. So if you're not seeing the 24 into 7, like 24 hours into 7 days of me actually working on things, then how can somebody judge that how much he's studying? All they'll see, oh, this guy is having so much fun on his channel, on his Instagram, and oh my God, I want to go to US also. मतलब जिंदगी बदल जाएगी अपनी,
Mm.
यूएस चलते हैं. यहाँ के पता चलता है you have to cook, you don't have money for rent. Uh, Suddenly, if you're driving a car, somebody gave you a ticket of $80. That adds up. So, yeah, it just looks really good from outside, but the hardships are only known by the internal. But I'm not saying it's not worth it, Anthea.
Mhm.
I'm just saying that it doesn't look that way from an outsider's eye.
Okay. So, like in general, you are saying that the salary is going to be like around like, if you would say for a median engineer, so like I can say somewhere around $50,000 after masters,
Oh, no, no, no,
60.
no.
No?
Over 60, over 60.
Okay.
Definitely over 60.
Okay.
Like
That's
that's 60 is the like a minimum I'm saying.
okay.
60, yeah, over 60 definitely.
And how much does it come like after taxes? Like how much are the taxes in general?
Taxes vary. First of all, taxes vary from state to state. So to pinpoint a state is really difficult. Um, Students ke liye there's a tax benefit. Again, you don't have to pay that much taxes and you'll get the returns. But for for workers, I'm not very much aware of what the tax system is, and I have to study about it because I haven't started getting paid. I'd say in terms of like uh, all the things which I'm getting paid for right now is like in terms of the company's paying for my rent, company's paying for my food, so I don't have to spend money on my own, or I don't get paychecks, and that actually reduces my paid to file taxes in April, or not April, like February or something, because there's a lot of like I'm sure you know that how pain in the ass it could be to just file taxes, right?
Yeah, you just get a tax consultant and you let her do everything.
Oh, okay. We don't have tax consultants, Bharat. We are not that rich. Because a tax
Okay.
consultant would cost like
They don't take a lot of money. Don't worry.
For us, it's like it's not that cheap as well. So it's a good learning process that you should at least know what's going on with your money.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
mean,
I'm not 100% aware of what's the tax rates state wise.
if I would have to draw something out of this discussion, it is definitely going to be that, if you don't have so much money, or if you cannot gather the resources to like study in US and like think of getting paid a lot
Hmm.
afterwards, then Germany could be a great option because
Germany
for
is a great option.
yeah, yeah.
Low risk.
Mainly because why I wanted to say like could be a great option, because the people who still don't want to learn German after their masters or during their masters, they have difficulties finding a job here. And
Hmm.
like that's something I want to just like aware people every single time I'm on a video, or like I'm just talking to somebody, because this is something that people think, okay, like we can come for an English thought program, and yes, like so many students come every year, around like 30,000 students combined with like bachelor's, masters, and PhD. They come to
Hmm.
Germany, and I think 99.9% of those people are for English thought programs. For German
Hmm.
thought programs, very less students come. And
Hmm.
that's why, like, okay, they come for English thought programs, but afterwards when they have this mentality that, okay, we are not going to study German, then when the job phase starts, when they have these 18 months to find a job, then it is like extremely difficult for them, and then many of them have to return back. But again, it's not a bad investment still, because all right, if you had to return back, then you didn't spend a lot of money in the first place.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
But I think like with US, it's like extremely risky, and I think
Yeah.
the pressure could be a lot too.
Yeah, it's again that chart stands true that the amount of risk you have equates to the amount of output you can assume, I would say, right? German, I would love to study in Europe. First of all, that has been always my dream, and I did that dream for 4 or 5 months when I was in Sweden. But I wanted to study in Europe so much, I can't even tell you. But just because the job market is very scarce and very language oriented, I would say, and that's one reason why I couldn't, or I did not apply to German universities. First of all, I applied to some Swedish and I applied to TU Delft as well, but I didn't go to them just because the language barrier is there, and I don't want to have that problem again, which I had in my undergrad. First of all, because my undergrad was in Thailand, right? So when you're studying there, you need to know Thai to at least get a job in civil engineering,
Okay. Yeah. I mean, for
which
civil
is
engineers,
significant.
that's the biggest issue because if you're going to any country, you first need to know
Right,
the building standards, you need to
right,
know the norms, you need to know how they calculate loads and stuff, what kind of
right,
cases they use, and
right.
then to coordinate with the architects or with the laborers and stuff, you need to know the local language. If you don't have that, then it is like
Mm-hmm.
extremely difficult. So, like, that's the main issue that civil engineers have everywhere, Parth.
Mm-hmm.
With Thailand too, like how did you come to the idea of like going to Thailand to like for your
Yeah,
back?
that's a long story. Matlab, I've told multiple occasions that
Okay.
why I did go there, because that was one of the best options I was seeing in terms of return of my money and in terms of better quality of education which I'm getting. Since I couldn't get into IITs and IITs, I was not as good as you probably. That's why
Uh,
you got into it. And I scored really bad, first of all. I was getting into some private colleges, but I didn't want to go there. I don't want to disrespect anyone here, but I don't want to go where there are like 800 students in a batch, right? Concentrate. If you're going for 4 years, you can't. Those 4 years are changing 4 years for your life, right? So if you're gonna invest money already, that similar amount of money, like why don't you choose a better option which you're getting in a different company? All the taboo was with Thailand, the taboo attached with Thailand was that Thailand is not a good place to study. It's a good place to have fun,
yeah.
but it's not a good place to have study, to do study, right? But first semester and everything seriously changed. There was a one of the great professors in NIT Jaipur who recommended that, and that's why I went.
Okay. That's really interesting. And like
Right.
civil engineering was your own choice or like was it again something that was influenced a bit?
Yeah, it was. I would say it was influenced a bit. If my dad is watching this, he would know. But it wasn't like I didn't like it, because I did pretty well in civil engineering as well, and I got a scholarship on the last year, and I was maintaining a good GPA in my undergrad over 3.5, 3.6, which is okay. Matlab, I wouldn't brag, but it was good in terms
Mm,
of my batch size.
mm,
So it was not like I didn't like it, and I took a Java course in the first semester. And now, even now, I do regret that I could have learned computer science more, and it would have paid me a lot when I come here, like anywhere 130, 140,000, which is great money. I have so many things to buy which I could have invested in. But again, it's something which I don't regret, that I didn't put so much pressure on my mind, and you get what you yield,
okay,
or
that's
you
really
get what you sow.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
true. That's true.
yeah,
But again, like the whole decision of coming to US and stuff, I think that had been a rewarding one. And like you get in touch with a lot of different people. Do you think you
correct.
would have also like continued your YouTube if you were in India?
I would have, because I was anyways doing it for a year before I started doing educational content. So
Mm,
it's not like, and it was even before that, even putting YouTube channel, I was making videos with my friends and stuff. It is
mm,
not like not gonna continue. It's just that the whole attraction point of the channel was US education system, right? So I might not have gathered that many viewers for my videos, but I would have still made videos because I just liked it that much. It was fun. What's not to like in it? It's a
okay.
good, it's a good what do you call, leeway from studies.
Yeah, yeah. Like for me too, like making videos and stuff has always been my refuge. Like whenever
Right.
there's
Yeah.
too much stress going on, just make a
Mhm.
video or something, try to be creative,
Yeah.
put something out in the world which didn't exist before. And it's
Right.
just like fun. Like you really have the feeling of being a creator.
Right, and the best thing is like we got very lucky in terms of how much audience we have gathered, and it gives you instant satisfaction when you push that publish button, right? Like within 3 days, you're finishing. Not even 3 days. Within like 8 hours, you're finishing a project, editing it, putting it up on YouTube, and you're seeing the numbers grow, and you're seeing that actually people are getting value to this. So. To sowing the seed and to actually seeing the plant grow, the time taken to do that is very less.
Mm.
And that's why this is the brain works like that. The yield is so fast that you just keep planting that seed and it gives you that rush of dopamine again and again and again.
That's true. How many videos
Yeah.
did you upload till now?
I don't even know, probably like 160, 170. Not even, seriously, wait, let me check. I haven't really looked at it, okay, how many videos. I should do something special for 50,000 video, 50,000 subscriber count, but
How much is
let's,
left now? I think I have uploaded really like around 200 videos or something, and like most
right.
of it has been around like 210 videos, to be honest. And it has been like most of it has been around educational content because I knew that before I came to Germany there was nobody who had
Right,
picked up
right,
this
right,
market and
right,
like actually started off
right.
putting things up. Because I'm telling you, when I was coming to Germany I was looking for every single detail. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
please just let me see how the TUHS campus looks like, how the
Right.
public transportation work, if
Yes.
there are some student organizations there and stuff like that. And I think that is a good part that we could do, that there was a information gap and then we could fill it out.
Wow, I have put 198 videos. I didn't
Wow.
even know.
Okay.
I didn't even know that I put. I think like a couple of them I made up. I might have made private and stuff, but 198 videos is interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't.
that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, I didn't know that at all. Yeah, could
Okay.
be maybe I should like do something special for 250th.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
50K.
Or maybe with 1,000 or something.
Yeah,
Part, let's take
yeah,
some
sure.
questions. No?
Some yeah, sure. Some video questions. Yeah, sure.
Video questions. Part and I am taking some questions now.
Sorry, guys, if you can hear, like, we didn't ask for any feedback and we just started bashing. If you are hearing is fine and it looks fine, everything fine, please do like this video so that we get some tactile feedback that, okay, everything is going fine on the video. And again, yeah, let's take the questions now.
Let's start with Balakrishnan. A median salary comparison between Germany versus US. I think in Germany it's around 40 to 50,000 euros, and for US it's way over 60,000. Huh?
But I so what is 40 euros in USD? 40 euros in USD is 47,000 US dollars, right? So 50,000 euros could be a median on an average salary. Like
Yeah.
if you look at the whole US population, there are people who are just making 20,000 US dollars as well. Like our administrator at my department, she makes 35,000. So it's not like everybody gets paid super crazy.
Okay, then you can pick up another question.
Yeah, sure. Let me just quickly look at it.
Mm.
Do undergrad students need to write any bachelor thesis? I mean, at least in US, you have to write not a bachelor thesis, but like a capstone project, and it will vary according to your university. It is not necessary that you will have to write it, but if your university, there it should be very clearly mentioned if what do you call it, if the university requires it or not. So shouldn't be an issue.
So, Dhruv Solanki is asking which country is better for masters in astronomy. I don't think
Okay.
like Germany would be that much of a great thing there, because if you're coming for astronomy, it would also be related to aerospace and stuff, cartography and all that. And I think US might be a better place for that.
I didn't even know all of these things exist in astronomy. Okay, first of all, astronomy is definitely a non-STEM course, so you wouldn't get that much visa time in terms of astronomy. And I'm pretty sure that if it's not that common, there are a lot less people who are actually taking that course. And I would recommend you, if you have that kind of money, invest it here, uh, and go back to India and then start working there. Because if you have that kind of degree, your clients will be very high paid, and you can make some serious money in India. Not here.
Okay. And Parth, Dave Surprise asking, can I start my own company in USA or Germany with the help
Yes.
of a university?
Bharat, you go first on this, and
All right.
then I'll
So,
go.
in Germany, we have these startup capsules which are like purely dedicated for students who want to build any kind of startup, or they have an idea and they want
Hmm.
to make a business plan. They want to hire people.
Hmm.
So we have like these startup docs. So like Hamburg is a port city. That's why the startup cells here are called startup docs.
Hmm.
And exactly, like if you have any kind of query, if you have any kind of question. So for example, when I was making my website and I wanted to start a business, I didn't know whom to approach and stuff like that. So I just saw it on my university's website. There was a cell. I just went there. Everything, like all of the consultation and everything, is completely free. They help you out with everything. They help you out with the paperwork, and yeah, you don't have to pay anything in return or anything like that. So that is something I absolutely appreciate about Germany. Like, of course, like there are so many people who are just ready to help you, and the university also helps you in just like getting forward with your own idea. How's the situation in
Yeah.
US?
So the situation in US is so much more twisted than in Germany. First of all, the reason why, because F1 students can't work on a startup. Uh, like that'll be counted as illegal because you're working completely all the time. And if you're working during your college time as well, that'll be considered as illegal as well. But there are ways to actually start a company here. But you really have to be good. Like in a country where companies like I don't know, just Facebook, Google have been built up, and companies which are getting funded are companies like Snapchat and Instagram. So you have to be good enough to actually get that kind of funding. You can start you can start a company, and there are multiple universities and multiple entrepreneurship programs which are going to help you in that process. But at the end of the day, it's just you who will have to do all the work, file all the paperwork. Your visa could be compromised. So it's not easy to start a company in the US, but yes, it is possible. That's all I'll say. uh, Ask me in the next 8 months, and I'll tell you again this thing.
Hmm.
I think I'll
That
have a very solid answer, how to start a company, and very legally I'll be able to say that.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, for Germany, I can say that it doesn't take a lot to at least start your own sole proprietorship. Maximum 5 minutes. I think this is the easiest process that you will ever do in your entire journey to Germany. And somehow, like they are just like really trying to encourage anybody who is trying to follow their ideas. But again, students are not allowed to have their startups, at least for the first 2 years, once they're done with their masters. After the 2 years, once they have permanent residency in Germany, then you can like easily just have your own startup and like follow your own idea. Now I want to take another question from Balaji Chandrasekharan. With B2 C1 plus MS engineering degree, can I move into management position in Germany? So with B2 C1 you can definitely come into management positions, but it takes time most of the times, because for MS engineering degrees, the thing is that most of the times they want to put you into operative departments of the company rather than the management or the strategic management parts of the company. So
Mhm.
for those parts, for those departments, they hire people especially from sectors with management and engineering degrees. Now, so I don't think that would be such a great option. If you want to go for management position, you know that, then I think you can just directly start with an engineering and management degree. But you can pick a question, and you're next.
Yeah, sure. Just give me a second. Somebody asked difference between getting
Problem of
scholarships.
H1.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to? Okay, problem of H1B. Yeah, I think that's a big question I want to address. All right. So H-1B is the specialized visa which enables you to work in the US. And but everybody who's coming to US, eventually, if you want to work, you will be have to be on H-1B until and unless you marry a American citizen or you somehow get a US citizenship, because there are ways to do that. But for now, let's keep it to that you will have to get H-1B. If you're coming for STEM course, you will. So if you're coming for any course whatsoever, STEM, non-STEM in US, you will get 1 year of OPT. OPT is optical practical training. It is optical. Yeah. So it's that work visa for a year where you can work in the US. Nobody will question you. Then you get STEM extension, but STEM extension you can only get when you have a STEM course. If you don't have a STEM course, then you get 1 year of OPT and then you'll have to apply for H1B. Whereas if you have a STEM course, then you can get 1 year of OPT, 2 years of STEM extension. And I mentioned this in like a couple of videos. You should check out my channel as well and subscribe. Anyway, so 3 years of visa before even getting H1B. Now the problem comes that there is a lot of students who are applying for H1B every year. If you're a master's student who have studied in the United States, you will be put. So H1B is given out on the basis of lottery. So if you're a H1B student, if you're an international student in the US and if you're studying in a US university, you will be put in a different pool of students or different pool in the whole H1B pool. For example, if the H1B pool is 100,000, there's like 40,000 specific seats for master's students. Then there is, if you do not get H1B visa from there, you will be put into the main, like the common lottery system. So the 60,000 seats, you will be put into that. So you have like multiple chances to get H1B. So you don't have to worry about H1B that much. The to getting an H1B is easier, but to maintain that it's difficult. Sometimes what happens, it is happening in the case of my brother-in-law as well. He's working for a company here in the Chicago area, but H1B has to be renewed over time, and sometimes the companies do not want to sponsor you because H1B costs money to the company. Every time they're filing in a report for you, it'll cost them $5,000 to $10,000. It'll cost them lawyer money, right? So all of the paperwork adds to the hurdles which a company is facing to file in your H1B. What is the takeaway of this whole situation? If you're a master student, first of all, do not even worry about H1B, because for the first 3 years, when you can make all your money back, you don't even have to worry about H1B. If you want to stay long, then you have to worry about H1B. But again, if you're a international master's students, then you will be given preference over any of the people here who are applying for H1B as well. And if you become like, first of all, if you are a startup owner, if you get like great funding, if you are working with a college, for example, if you're working with a university, if you're working with a non-profit, then you get H1B without any lottery system. Like you are working in a cap exempt H1B system. Like there's a lot of minute details, and I think let me link. What I'll do is like I will link a video down. There's a Trump video which we made, and that is a great way for you to understand what's going on regarding H1B.
Yeah, that's definitely. I think I will already put your video in the description too, because I
Sure.
remember it is a really good video, and if anybody wants to see, definitely check it out. It explains everything regarding the H1B situation, and I personally also found it really interesting. Over 100,000 views. So I've updated now the description. Rohan Khandekar is asking, unfortunately, my loan time. Uh, just a second. Unfortunately, my loan time had taken a bit more. Can I ask the student colleague to pay the fee afterwards? No, Rohan, you have to talk to the student colleague. Most of the times they do not allow it. So in that case, you have to be careful and you have to just like talk to them and see. Most of the times the student colleague will not allow it, and like you have to come in the next time, or like something like that. Now let's go to some other questions. Parth, you there? Parth isn't there yet. All right. So how can I apply for PhD? जग्गा डाकू, is it जग्गा डाकू? भाई साहब, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल नाम कितना खतरनाक है, जग्गा डाकू। भाई पीएचडी के लिए क्यों आएगा, कहाँ पे आना चाह रहा है तू, ये बता।
Mhm. Uh, ठीक है, we can talk both about both, right? If you're applying for Germany, what's the case
Yeah,
regarding
yeah.
PhD?
So in PhD we have two kind of in Germany we have two kind of PhD programs. One is like the individual one, and another one is like proper structured one. And for the individual one, you have to actually write to the professors with your idea of research, and like you have to find a supervisor who agrees to your idea, and then he will file the paperwork in the university and like provide you a place as a doctoral candidate. For structured programs, you have to find on the online portals, you know, how, I think, is it working? My podcast. All right, it's working. Great. Yeah, so for the structured PhD programs, you have to find some portals, and I have covered all of that in my complete guide to studying in Germany. The link to the course is in the description, and I have covered everything there. So like you have to go to the portals and you have to see what kind of places are available, and then you have to apply with the CV and all of that stuff to the professors, and then there's a committee. Unlike the first case in which you had to just directly find one professor, in the other one you have to like convince a team of professors that they let you in, and they let you they offer you that PhD position. What's the scene in US, Parth?
Yeah. So the scene in the US is pretty simple. Um, it's like, first of all, to get a PhD position is very difficult because most of the PhD positions are actually fully funded, right? Because it's 4 years of study. You're going to do research with the professor itself or with the university itself. So you don't want to spend that kind of money from your own pocket, and nobody expects you to. The competition is high, first of all, because the PhDs are very difficult. For example, Simran is doing right now a master's in MS optics, and she wants to do PhD. But her PhD is going to take 5 years to finish if she even starts right now, right? So, to first of all, to get into a PhD, you have to actually convince the professor to the core and show him that you are interested in research that much, right? Because it's not as easy, and they want like concrete results. They want something special. They want something. If you are a PhD student under them, they want papers from you. They want research from you. They want to see that what is the substantial thing which you're contributing to the society in some ways, right? And if they're investing $2,000, $3,000 just stipend money and fees is different, then they see something out of it. So it's a long-term commitment. To get into it, the procedure is very simple. You can check it on any of the university website you're planning to apply. But to get into it is difficult. Like it's more difficult than actually people think.
Hmm. Yeah, so I think it's almost the same for PhD in Germany too. Like according to the difficulty and about the funding, like yes,
Mm.
German PhD seats are also completely funded, and like most of the times you earn more in a PhD seat than you would earn as a fresher in civil engineering after your master. So like that's why most of
Right.
the people they just like prefer to do the PhD rather than doing their job, especially like for civil engineers. Now some students here are asking like, can I get a full scholarship in Germany if I have CGPA of this and this and something like that? So Noman Parmar, the thing is in Germany there is no scenario like full scholarship, mainly because the tuition fee is not there, and the DAD, the German exchange program, they provide scholarships to just a few students from universities of like IIT and NITs. So they are still like eligible for some kind of scholarship, and that is also like just for the second year or something like that. Most of them are like like post admit scholarships. So like once you have the admit, once you are enrolled in the university, only then you can apply for a scholarship. And it again depends on your score in your bachelor's, and maybe if there are some other students who are applying for the same less number of scholarships, I don't think the chances are going to be that great, because mainly Germany doesn't have any tuition fee. If they're already subsidizing so much of your tuition fee and like your learning costs, then they're not going to pay something on top to like cut back on your expenses or something. Like they are not going to give you your living expenses and stuff. And Part in US, like you guys do have scholarships and stuff, right?
Yeah, for all of them, like for undergrads, masters, and PhD students, if the candidate is worthy enough, there is a lot of scholarships available, and the scholarships are not limited to just Indian. I would say here that Indian there are multiple Indian scholarships available, but when you're coming to the US, there are scholarships which you can apply for, and if you're worthy enough, they will give scholarship. For example, Rishabh got a full scholarship for 4 years at Brown. So we should call him someday on the live session and talk about how he applied for the scholarship and how he got it, because full scholarship is worth like easy 150 200,000 a year, easy $200,000. Matlab, if your fees is that much per year, for example, at Purdue, my fees is $30,000 per year. 30,000 into 4 is 120. 120 plus living at least $15,000 per year. So that's 60,000. That's 180,000 for a state college, right? For a public college. For a private college, that goes up to 300,000 easy. So there are scholarships available. It's just that to get it, it's
Mm.
you have to be fucking good,
Mm.
like insanely good, like Zuckerberg kind of good.
Yeah, that's really interesting. To be honest, like I said, in Germany, you do not have any kind of pre-admit scholarships. The universities aren't just going to say, "All right, you have that kind of score in your bachelor's, just come to us, and we will like pay everything that you have that you need." Because in general, like almost Germany is giving scholarship to every single international student who is coming here because tuition fee is just not there. Now,
Right.
so all of these, at least the living costs, like you have to take care of your own. Like you have to do that. Now, Noman Permar is again asking because there are courses where Germany asks for tuition fee. Noman, the courses, the universities or the courses which ask for tuition fee, most of the times they will have an additional tab on their website which says scholarship. So like you can read about the scholarships there, and every single university has different kind of scholarships. After you are enrolled in any university, the scholarships become the same. They're all German scholarships, and then you can apply to any one of them. But as long as you don't have an admit, you are not enrolled in the university, you don't have opportunity, you don't have an opportunity to just apply for scholarships for Germany.
Right. Right.
uh, so it's Sahil Singh, it's written Shahil Singh, is asking, is it compulsory to clear GRE and IELTS for PhD in Germany and US? So for Germany, you do not need IELTS and GRE. The medium of instruction certificate works. That's it. So like you don't need the IELTS or GRE or both of them.
Hmm.
For US,
For US, you will need GRE. You will need IELTS or TOEFL. That's a mandatory requirement. If you have a lot of work experience, then they can waive off your GRE. But TOEFL or IELTS, you'll have to take. Like you'll have to take a English language proficiency test for sure. You just want to make sure that's a visa requirement as well. So it's not a university requirement on complete terms.
okay, so I'll just take one last question from Vikas,
Sure.
and it is test of exam mandatory for German taught courses? I have done my B1. Yes, Vikas, test of is most of the times compulsory for German taught courses, and in test of you need to earn 16 out of 20 points, and which corresponds to somewhere around B2 C1 level. Like that is compulsory. You have to show that certificate till the time of enrollment, and if you do not show that, then your admission will be void. So anyways, thank you so much guys for watching the video. You have been with us since 1 hour. It was
Yeah.
fun to talk with Parth, and we tried to clear as many questions as we could. And maybe if you watch the video again once the video is completely up, most of the times we might have covered the questions that you might be asking right now in the starting parts of the video. So just like take care and go through that video. It was like fun talking with Parth. You can follow
Yeah.
his Instagram. You can also check out his YouTube channel. Makes really nice videos there.
Thank you. Thank you.
So all right, Parth, then you want to say something?
No, thank you so much, guys, for being here. Thank you for Bharat. It's thanks to Bharat. It's been very long that I've done a live session on YouTube, and I think I should do more live sessions and invite Bharat as well on the channel. But anyways, thank you guys for hearing me out. And I'm sorry that we if we couldn't take in some questions, but you should definitely check out the channel if you have any kind of US related questions, because there is 198 there are 198 videos, and I'm 100% sure that your question will be answered in one of them, and it will be organized. Don't worry about it. You'll not have to go like 198 videos in total. Anyways, that's it. Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, it was fun to have Parth here. Thank you guys. And if I couldn't answer any of your questions, I'm sorry. I will do it in the next session, and I will be live every single Wednesday at 9 o'clock till the university starts at least. Now
Mhm.
again, so thank you everybody for being here, for being with us, and we'll see you in some other video.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.